I am what is known as a healthy YouTuber, the most dangerous creature ever known to roam the flat plains of our Earth. I get most of my health information from other YouTubers. That's how bad this train slides downhill. You come to me for advice. That's the reality here. I got 10 people, and they're worried. Just let me ease your fears, my friend. So I figure we do a little Q&A since I'm thriving so hard with a forehead rash, and just answer your questions. I've been saving them up for a couple weeks now. If you don't know, usually I do a monthly Q&A video every month. Monthly. On the Patreon. It costs at least $1 a month. Questions over there have been a little slacking. It's the same people. I never advertise it. So if you need a question answered, you go over there for the monthly show. First question here. Hey, big fan question. Do you think you've lowered your ability to digest fats with the prolonged diet without it? And that's why you are seeing such a reaction to even just a little now. Listen, dickhead. I don't think that's the case because we all know if I switch to a super high fat diet, my skin clears up, things are kind of okay. I'm just tired and nauseous a lot. Shut up. I don't think it's the case because I can eat some fat. The other night, for example, I'm eating fruit all day, but at night I had 2 avocados and a handful of pine nuts. Take that, 0 nausea. I was actually surprised. Usually when I eat a bunch of nuts, I feel a little queasy. I felt good. I felt even better the next day. So I don't struggle too hard with a little bit of fat, a normal amount of fat. And I don't think it's the fat that's causing the problems. When I eat too much fat, it's the sugar I eat the next day that starts causing problems because it's not leaving my bloodstream fast enough. So it's just, I can't mix them. That's why I've always been kind of freaky with the high carb, super high carb, little bit of fat, or super high fat, tiny bit of carbs. That's the balance. I'm curious whether you've tried vacuum blending. I haven't. It sounds phenomenal. I mean, we know blending, it just sucks air down. You're oxidizing things every second, but I wouldn't panic on it. Some people take this shit too serious. I remember Brian Clement, he was like, oh, Vitamix, you destroy everything, every nutrient lost in 30 seconds. It's like, yeah, okay, buddy, how did you test that? People are drinking green smoothies, they love it. They're feeling fantastic. But like the vacuum blender, it vacuums. There's no air. Sounds dangerous, but I want one. Sounds good. What do you think about CBD supplements? I've never tried them, so you're asking the wrong ass person, but I've never really been tempted to try them. I don't think they're gonna fix anything. They might lower inflammation slightly. Do they get you high? I don't know. I smoked weed for 14 years. I ain't looking to go back to that plant. I've learned all I could from her. And thank you for being there for me. But we've moved on from that relationship. CBD, I might try it one day if I see it in a shop. Why not? But I don't think it's necessary. It's just some weird extract from a plant. Just eat hemp seeds. You get a tiny amount. It's too much fat, asshole. You know, Casey, you touch your forehead quite often. Could that have something to do with your eczema? I doubt it. Touching it because it's itchy. Stupid. I don't think, like, people say, oh, if you touch yourself, don't you get ideas, boys. You get zits, like, oh, we're so dirty, your own hand, disgusting. I remember David Wolf saying that he only touches with the back of his hand. Usually I try to, but it's not your own dirt. It's like you've touched something chemical rich, like, oh, pesticides. You're holding oranges and then you touch, well, maybe the pesticides got on. That's possible, but not your own beauty filth. You're not, come on. It's not causing it, obviously. It's, in my opinion, this rash, it started when I was on keto. Just a tiny thing on the top. And I think around that time, I tried that Nizoral dandruff shampoo to see if it would cure the fungal acne. It helped, but it was so chemically based, like pharmaceutical meds. I was like, that's the thing about stooping down to keto. You're willing to try anything, even the pharmaceutical route. That's disgusting. So I think I used that for several weeks. I think I'm just detoxing it now. It just seeped in, and now I have to bear with it. Just let it out now. So it's a bunch of bullshit. Could be that. Probably is. I've never had... It's just too coincidental. Never had a forehead eczema rash. And I used that crap. I'm sorry if I'm just coming in and don't know your whole history, but have you ever eaten according to your blood type? When I did this, I always felt great. Just interested to know if you ever tried this. Your thoughts, please. I get this comment so much. It's absolutely just a fad nothingness. There's nothing to it. Zebras have different blood types. They're all eating grass and donkey meat. Come on now. It's the dumbest. Like, some of the most successful long-term raw vegans have the type O. Lou Corona, Marcus Rothkranz, me, type O. I'm thriving. I feel better on carbs than I do on the meaty fats. Just my skin's not as perfect, but it'll get there. You wait. I'll throw it in your face. So this blood type stuff, it's just some guy wrote a book. He had a theory. He's like, oh, this could work. There's nothing behind it. There's no science. There's no, like, anecdotes. There's some, probably, but it's like, you go to Whole Foods, oh, just eat steak and veggies and potatoes, and instead of the processed stuff, that's all he did is remove some really bad processed food, and some people feel better, but there's nothing to it. It's not ever, just, if you ever follow it, I will follow you off a cliff, and I'll be the one who lives because I'll land on your body. Was that your question? Has anyone read the book by Fred Bishi, Your Health Journey? Discover your body's full potential to change. I just found this doctor a couple weeks ago. Seems pretty smart. I think I'm gonna order his book off Amazon. Vegetable Police, let me know if you ever got around to reading his book or looking into Fred Bishi. Maybe you already know of him. I do. I'm well aware of him. He never had a clear message. It was very confusing. He's like, yeah, go raw. I don't eat much. Don't eat too much fruit. Don't eat too much nuts. What the fuck do you eat? There's nothing. I saw an interview with him just recently with Dr. Morse, and I realized he knows nothing about health. Sorry. He knows stuff, but he was in awe. He was like, oh yeah, fruit, eh? I've never thought of that. I eat these nut meals with veggies, and I'm always so tired after. He doesn't feel good. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's just eating raw food, and he has some decent genetics. He's old. He's like 87, maybe 90. It's like, thank God we have some people like that, good examples, raw vegan, long-term. So sorry for all the shade I'm throwing at you, but it just, I don't like these Hippocrates followers who are just, what do you eat? What is your message? It's all just sprouts and greens. There's no calories. You're anti-fruit, the most healing food we know of. And then it's like, don't eat too much fat either. Like, where are the calories coming from? Sprouted lentils? It's gross. It's a stupid diet that makes no sense to humans. It's not delicious. I have some lentils sprouting right now. They're disgusting. But I'm going to throw it in a smoothie for an experiment. Bananas, little protein powder with the mung beans. The gains will be real. But it might be okay with the fruit. There's no way it's going to digest well. But it could. But I don't like these people who confuse. You have no clear message. What do I eat? What are your thoughts on pasteurized juice fast? Fruit is too expensive where I live to do a fresh juice fast. You'd probably die. There's no way you would make it. Like, the only reason you're living on a juice fast is all the enzymes and the vitamins and the raw phytonutrients and what are those biophoton things? There's potential that you might not die on a raw juice fast, but you're gonna lose. I want to do another one, but maybe like juicing the mung bean sprouts and maybe a protein powder in there and see if I could actually maintain. I doubt it. But man, it's a way to die. And pasteurized, it's just not the same. Don't ever do it. You probably should never even drink pasteurized juice ever. But I mean, there is that master fast system where they're like mostly raw, but they like their pasteurized grape juice. If you gotta do it, you could, but what's the point? There's just something magical about raw food, and I notice it immediately. I've just done a couple experiments. I was doing like this big grain meal at night, big cup and a half of quinoa or buckwheat or millet. Millet. I don't know, these grains, like, they're tasteless, but you're kind of addicted to it. It's like, it's the weirdest thing. There's opiates in it. You're getting signals to the brain. It's like, this isn't good, but I can't stop. I can't wait to eat this again tomorrow. It makes no sense. And I was getting so tired after these meals. There's levels of fatigue after a meal. Fruit, no fatigue, usually. Sometimes like a little dip, but then I'll walk and things are good. A starch meal, it's like, oh wow, I'm definitely much more tired than if I was to be all raw. A meat or nut-based meal, then it's just like, I might have to lay down. There's levels of the fatigue. And starch compared to a fruit dinner, not even, I can't even compare them. They're so different. I've been eating all raw lately, and it's like, I'm not tired now after dinner. It's like, it's such a vast difference. So 100% raw is the goal, I do believe. You better get there. Not before me. I'm already there. Do you think Bill Bates and Stan are trying to force you to buy Beyond Meat products and poison vegans? I made a video about this. Boom. Go watch it. And it's like, I get this comment a lot like, don't you know the new world ordering at McDonald's? Huh? I hid it. I hid it within the sentence. These people are pushing you towards veganism and trying to kill you. Therefore, we know veganism is bad because the elites are pushing you there. No, they're not. They are pushing you for these fake meat products, which are weird shit. A bunch of terrible ingredients. 100%. If you eat raw salmon, it's healthier than this Beyond Meat bullshit. Guarantee you. I can't guarantee it, but I feel like it would be. I don't know what this stuff is. There was that lady who did the falling of the caballing? Oh, whoa, hit that one. She investigated this Bill Bates and his meat stuff, anti-meat. It's like there's something not vegan in it. The way they synthesize the blood taste, it's something weird. It's an experiment. Like, don't ever get this shit. You should know that. Your intuition should be triggered by these things. It's like, what the? No, of course not. So don't get it. And that's what they're trying to hijack veganism. They're not talking about fruits and vegetables and doing juice fasts and smoothies and all this stuff. It's the fake meat products and do this. You're vegan. Did you really have all that in one sitting? How many calories are you eating in a day? I don't remember what video that was, but it was probably a giant grain meal or something. I was eating these big ass meals and I was getting tired after them. They're stupid. I'm just thinking too much in the mind is not good. Oh, I need this much calories and this much protein. Okay, I get that. Wow, that's a lot more than it looks. Wow, can I survive eating that? Probably not. Probably not. So I have no idea how many calories I eat. I just eat. Eat to satiation. Make these big ass smoothies with the raw buckwheat in there and just fruit meals and green juices. I always found the more I tried to follow what I should be getting, like a typical, okay, you need 2,700 calories a day, the worse I felt. If you just listen to the body and eat when you're hungry and stop and enjoy the emptiness. If you're last night I had a fruit smoothie for dinner and it was digested in a couple hours. Stomach was empty. You might think you're hungry at that point, but I was enjoying the piece of it. Felt like I was fasting. So I was like, oh, this is good. And then I slept great. So you gotta feel hunger and embrace it and turn it into love and peace. You can do it. All right, last question. Fat and sugar are enemies in the same meal only? How long before ingesting them apart? I find even if you have a super fatty dinner, the next day you could have blood sugar issues. I just had those 2 avocados and some pine nuts a couple days ago. The next day I didn't notice any blood sugar swings from my sugary meal. But if you do that too many days in a row, it can inhibit you. I've felt it before. In general, you just want to have fat at the end of the day. You wouldn't start the day with a breakfast avocado nut yogurt with granola type of thing, and then your next meal 2 hours later is a fruit meal, it's gonna run into it. So wait. Sequential food combining is the way I do it. Fruit, veggie juice, then the heavier, dense stuff. Not grains, ever again. So it depends on the person. You might be fine eating fatty dinner and then a fruity breakfast 14 hours later, 16 hours later. I wouldn't try it in the same day, like a 4-hour later meal after fat. You're kidding yourself. So I have helped so many people today. It's unbelievable. So if you have questions, post them down below. I might miss them though. So if you have a dire need for my advice, which you probably do, you go to the monthly Patreon Q&A for less than $1 a month. It's more than $1. It could be 30 if you had it. You don't have it. You wouldn't direct it in this direction. Money well spent. I understand it. You could still thumb up the video. Thumbs down if you have a Q&A about how to step on raccoons so you don't get your feet wet in the winter. They just wanted garbage meat and you're stepping on them to throw your garbage out. That's using the animal and it's not vegan and it won't be tolerated on this channel. So steer off into another path, dickhead. I'm gonna leave after you buy a Stern Beats t-shirt. I got a new ambient song. I've been working on it. I've just been throwing it in the videos for the longest time. You probably know which one it is. It's not finished yet, but I will finish it soon and then make a video for Stern Beats. Go subscribe. I'll leave. Subscribe.